Hello my friends, this is Jeannie. Welcome back. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I am going to share with you how I make these absolutely adorable Day of the Day dolls. I was inspired to make these after I saw a picture in my Instagram feed, and I will share that picture with you in a minute. So these particular dolls were made using some crochet thread, metal findings, beads, and my tassel maker. I did not see or watch a tutorial on how to make these. It's just something I kind of figured out on my own after seeing the photo. This is a close-up of one of the prototypes. I think she turned out absolutely adorable. This is another prototype. And then there's this one. So as I said, to make these, you're going to need some, I use crochet thread, but you can also use embroidery thread, or you can use yarn. You're going to need some metal findings. Specifically, you're going to need some chain. You're going to need some jump rings in 2 different sizes. And you're going to need some eye pins. You will also need tools. You are going to need some long flat nose pliers. I have 2. And you're going to also need some round head pliers, and these are extremely helpful. I would say necessary. You need these tools, else you're really going to struggle. I have a tassel maker, so I am going to use the tassel maker to make the body of these little dolls. You don't need a tassel maker. I have a tassel maker. I'm going to use the tassel maker. So this particular tassel maker I'm using is by Clover. I purchased it at Tuesday morning, long time ago. Absolutely love it. It makes tassels in 4, 5 different sizes. These are the sizes, and you will see this tassel maker in action because I will give you a very close-up step-by-step on how it works. Now, all of these products that I am using, I am going to link in the info box down below using Amazon affiliate links. If you use those links, I get a percentage of that sale. It doesn't affect the price of the item at all. It's just a way of me generating a little extra income that I pour right back into my channel. So let me share with you the picture that inspired this all. These earrings popped up on my Instagram feed, and they are absolutely adorable. I did what every crafter who sees something like this does. Well, why would I buy that? I can make it. I really can make it, as it turns out, because after much struggle and lots of MacGyvering, I did come up with these, which I think is pretty darn close to what these are. Now, I don't want them as earrings. I want to use them as embellishments for my Halloween projects. And I think they are the perfect size for that. So I'll give you one more look at these dolls, and then we're going to jump right into this tutorial. The first thing we're going to make is the body of the doll. What essentially looks like a black dress with a little cinch around the waist, just under, I guess that would be a bust line, right? So that's where we're going to start. Now, as I said, I'm going to use my Clover tassel maker. This is super easy to use. If you have this in your stash and you haven't used it yet, take it out, use it. It is so much fun and so easy to use. If you are a visual learner like I am, sometimes reading instructions just doesn't do it for me. I have to see the tool in action. There are videos available here on YouTube where you can watch a step-by-step on how it works. It is a plastic tool. It has these two, what would you call these? I don't know, buttons, tighteners, fasteners on one side that when you loosen them allows you to adjust the height of the tool. I'm not going to move it because it's already adjusted to where I want it, but it allows you to adjust the height of the tool so you can control the length of your tassel. So you want to make sure once you choose the length that you want, that's tightened. I have it set on the middle setting, so there are 5. The middle gives me a tassel that is 3 1/8 inches long, which is perfect for me. Now, there are 2 sides to this. On the one side, you have the little tightening, the tighteners, the little white nubby buttons. So technical. And on the others, you don't. So on the other side, you don't. I am going to start by facing the side that doesn't have the buttons towards me. So these little white fasteners are facing away from me, or they're facing down, and the back side of the tassel maker is facing me. And the reason I want that is because on the back side you have kind of hooks. The arms have hooks. There's one on this side and one on this side, and that's where you're going to start your tassel. You're going to take the tail end of your tassel, you're going to hook it under one arm, and then you're going to start to wrap. Now, I still, even though it's hooked, because I'm neurotic and I tend to pull pretty hard and tight on the thread, I, as extra security, use my thumb to also hold that tail in place, and then you wrap. In my case, I'm going to wrap 30 times because I find that is the length that works for me. You do you. Whatever length work or whatever thickness works for you, you do it. For me, 30 wraps gives me just the perfect amount of thickness. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to wrap this 30 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So that's 30 wraps. Now what I'm going to do is take that thread and wrap it around the other hook on the opposite side. Okay? And that will hold that in place and give that a cut. So now you see how that popped off? I didn't pull it down hard enough. Okay, so that's what you have. The first thing you're going to do is take a smaller piece of that same thread, either the crochet thread or the embroidery floss, whatever it is you just used to wrap around your tassel maker. Take a smaller piece of that, find the center of the wrap and cinch it, tie a knot. And this is going to keep your tassel from completely unraveling and coming apart once you cut it to release it from your tassel maker. Now at this point, what I'm going to do different. Now normally if I was going to make a normal tassel, I would just snip at the top, snip at the bottom, tassel done. But in this case, I'm going to add a jump ring. Now you could do this step further down the road, but I find this is the most convenient time to do it and the easiest time to do it, because the thread itself is still wrapped around the tool. It's nice and taut, so it'll be easy to get all of these threads into this jump ring, whereas later on, because this won't be stretched out so tightly, and so what's the word I'm looking for? I think taut is the word. It's going to be more difficult to get this ring around. So I have a jump ring, open that up, and in that same general area where I just cinched this tassel, I'm going to attach a jump ring. And this jump ring is definitely essential to creating the doll. So now I have my wrap, my tassel wrap, cinched in the middle with that same thread, and then I have the jump ring threaded through there as well. So what I'm going to do to release this from my tool is there is kind of like this notch up here that allows you to slide your scissors through and under the thread to snip, snip, snip. And the same thing down here, snip, snip, snip. What I encourage you to do is when you do the one side, as you're cutting it, just hold on to the threads. I'm then going to flip this over, and I'm going to cut the other side as well. So once you snip, snip, snip both sides, you have that jump ring in the center. You are going to fold your thread, your bundle, your tassel, whatever you want to call it, in half. See what I just did? Okay. Make sure that jump ring stays at the center as well. And now that you have this part right here, the next thing we need to do is cinch up close to where that jump ring is to create kind of like this bodice look that you see here. And I have this bag of embroidery thread that I bought a long time ago from Tuesday Morning. I can't use this much in my lifetime, but I have it nonetheless. I'm going to find a nice pink, I think this will work, that works with the rose right here that I'm going to use for the little embellishment on the head of the skull, as you can see there. Which reminds me, let me grab a skull bead. And again, a lot of these materials I am going to, or supplies, I am going to link down below. I have my tassel. I have the pink I am going to use to create that cinched bodice look. I am going to grab my jump ring and just kind of straighten this and pull it tight using my thumb and my finger to kind of cinch where I want to start this wrap. I'm going to take the embroidery thread and just kind of pinch it under my finger and start wrapping. And as I wrap, I'm going to come down. See that? See how that's thickening to create like a bodice type effect? It's really simple. So once you think that bodice is long enough, and I think that's perfect, then just going to go ahead and make a knot. Now you can, for aesthetic reasons, I would encourage you to try to make that knot to one side, either the front or back side of the tassel. Wherever that knot lands, make that the back side of your doll so that you don't see that knot. Once that's done, look, you have a beautiful little bodice. Okay, so the next step after making the bodice is to now let's work on attaching the arms. Now the next thing we're going to create are the arms. The way you create the arms is you use two pieces of a chain. In my case, these I used a metal chain, 9 links in length. So I had two pieces, each of them 9 links. And then once I had those two pieces, it might be easier to do it this way. Once I have those two pieces, I attach those two pieces together in the center using a jump ring, and I also attached a jump ring to both ends of it. So you have something that looks like this. Jump ring, chain, jump ring, chain, jump ring. Okay, let me bring that closer so that you can see it. Can we see? Jump ring, chain, jump ring, chain, jump ring. And my chains are 9 links long. Obviously, yours will vary depending on how long you want your arms and what kind of chain you use, but that is the chain I have, and I find 9 lengths works for me. I'm going to take that same bodice, that same body that I just made, and I'm going to find, here it is, where that jump ring can be opened. I'm going to open it up. Going to open it up. And just don't need to open it too much. I'm going to open it up just wide enough with a twisting motion so that I can put one of the jump rings at the end. The jump rings at the end, that's what I'm going to thread onto the bigger jump ring here. Now I could close that off, but I'm going to leave it open only because I'm going to be adding the head. So ain't no point in closing that ring if I'm just going to open it again. But you can see I now have 2 arms, and I have this little jump ring in the center. So as I said, I am not going to close this jump ring just yet because I do have to thread the head through there as soon as I make it. And that is going to be the next step. So the next step for me anyway is to create the head of the doll. And I use a skull bead, a flower bead, and some eye pins to create that head. So I start with the skull, and for me, what works for me, and again, you do what works for you, I use 3 eye pins. And the reason I use the 3, as I said, eye pins, is because I find it kind of locks the beads into place so you don't have the head swiveling so much on the doll. Okay, and also it allows you some extra wires to create that fun little extra embellishment, those little, I think they look like leaves, addition to the top of the flower. And it's also another spot where you can thread a jump ring and attach a clasp so that you can create a dangly charm. Now what I do is I use my round needle nose pliers to kind of corral, if you will, those eyes on my eye pin. Kind of lock them into place like that. So it's a good way for me to control these beads and these wires. I'm going to then thread them, all of them, through my rows. That's what I have. Then I'm going to use my hands, just my hands, my fingers to bend back two of the wires, two of the pins, whatever you want to call them. And leave one up. And I'm going to make sure to always keep those little eyes of the pins locked into place, all facing the same direction, all lined up with the tip of my round nose needle pliers. Okay, so this is when the fun starts, because now, while holding the bottom, I'm going to basically just, no rhyme or reason, start twisting the two side wires to create that kind of like flower leaf effect. You don't have to do this. I choose to do this. I am going to cut the length of those wires a little bit, because I don't want to be twisting forever now. This center one I'm going to leave standing just as is, straight up. And this doesn't really matter what direction I twist. I want it to kind of look organic. I want it to look like just extra little swirls and embellishments. Not embellishment, like leaves at the top of the rose. I'm just going to twist around until the end, that's what I'm happy with. In this case, it kind of look like kind of like a bowl. Let's see if I can change that. I really don't want to look like a bowl. I don't know. Maybe if you have more expertise in shaping wire and jewelry, you can do a better job than I just did, but that works. Yeah, that works. That's cute. She looks cute. Doesn't she look cute? She look cute. All right, now I'm going to make another little loop with that gold one. And I'm going to be careful to try to have the loop on that gold one facing the same direction as the loops on the bottom, so that if I do decide to thread it, there we go, perfect. Perfect. Hopefully I was able to catch all of that on camera. Probably didn't. I try, my friends, I tried. A lot of this is very much intuitive. You know, you just do what works. And I think that's absolutely adorable. Yeah, everything lines up on the bottom. cute. She looked like she got bunny ears. But I love it. So now what we need to do is take this head and attach it to the jump ring on the bodice so that we can have something that kind of looks like this. So let's go ahead and do that. Here's my body, my two little arms, still open from earlier. I'm going to thread the head, thread the head, that rhymes, onto my jump ring there. And now I can close that. Do you see that? Now I can close it. I'm going to have to bring it closer to me so that I can see what I'm doing. So forgive me. Okay, so you see I closed that. And just to make extra sure that nothing slides out from that, any gap that may remain. First of all, let's make sure to close that gap a little better. Okay, I'm going to twist until that jump ring, the opening, the seam, if you will, of that jump ring is under, it's tucked. Under the thread. And that's what we have so far. So all that is left to do is add a little dangly charm or something from there. You don't have to. The doll is perfect at this point. But because I have them, I am going to attach this little cross onto my doll. Now, the final step really is to just add a little something to hang from the arms as if she's holding it. You don't have to, but I choose to. I have these really nice cross shaped, can we see them? Beads. I am going to use another pin. This pin has a bit of a fancy head to it, has a little silver ball at the head of it. I think it looks really pretty. I am going to thread my cross through that. I need to create a little hook or an eye at the top of this so that I can thread a jump ring through it. So I'm going to do that. Let's see, where are my cutters? I never get this perfect, and that's okay. Don't need to be perfect. That works. So you see I created a little eye at the top there. And again, this is not a tutorial on how to work metal findings or make jewelry, so you'll have to forgive me if it's a little amateurish in that respect, but it's more a tutorial to show you how I create the dolls, you know? That's pretty much the point of this tutorial. Like many crafters, I'm a jack of all trades, master of none. I figure out and learn whatever skill I need to know at that particular moment to complete my project. So I know many, many, many skills, and I may not be an expert at any one of them, but I know enough to get my project done. So all I did was open up that jump ring, thread my cross through it, and now she is done. How cute is she? Look at her. She's adorable. Absolutely adorable. And this is a very simple version of this doll. I have other ideas to make them a little more ornate, a little fancier, a little more complex, but I thought maybe first I should master this before I move on to something a little more complex. So that is the end of my tutorial, my friends. I hope, number one, this tutorial makes sense. Number two, that you were able to follow what I'm doing. And number three, that you will take this idea, run with it, make it your own, create your own dolls. If you do create these, I would love, love, love to see them. Make sure you tag me in your posts, Happily Ella After, or you can send me photos of your project at happilyellaafter@gmail.com. It is spelled the exact same way as my YouTube channel. So I would love, love, love to see what you make. So what do you think? I like them. I love them. And I am going to continue to make more. I mean, I think I can make some of these for just about every holiday. It's all a matter of finding the right beads, I think. That is all for this video, my friends. Thank you so, so much for watching. If you are new to my channel, please subscribe. I would love to have you. Make sure you activate that notification bell so that you are notified anytime I post a new video. If you found this video fun, if you are inspired, then please give me a thumbs up. That does go a long, long way to helping my YouTube channel. Leave a comment down below if you have any questions. Let me know which doll is your favorite. Is this something that you're going to try to do? And are you that person? Are you that crafter? I am. That when you see something, the first thought in your mind is, I can make that. Because that is what totally got me to do this project. I was inspired by a photo, and instead of buying it, I said to myself, I can make that. And through trial and error, I did make it. And it's fun. Fun, lots of fun. And super satisfying to know that I figured it out and I got it done. I will catch you all in the next video, my friends. Until next time, bye-bye.